Some people wake up already tired, not because they slept badly, not because the day ahead is difficult. It's because somewhere in the back of their mind, a quiet countdown has already started. The commute, the fluorescent lights, the small talk, the open office, the performance of being on for 8 straight hours. And here's the strange part. It's not the work itself that drains them, it's everything around it. For some people, working from an office feels completely normal, energizing even. But for others, it feels like running a second job just to survive the first one. A job that has nothing to do with their actual tasks, and everything to do with managing their environment. So why does one person walk into an office and feel nothing at all, while another feels like their nervous system is quietly under siege? That's the question we're going to sit with today. Picture 2 versions of the same task. In one, you're at your desk at home. The lighting is exactly how you like it. The temperature is right. No one is watching your screen. If you need silence, you have it. If you need music, you choose it. In the other, you're in an open office. Someone's phone keeps buzzing 3 desks away. A conversation you're not part of keeps pulling your attention. The lighting is fluorescent and slightly too bright. You can feel, faintly, that people can see your screen. The task is identical. The output required is identical. But one version leaves you focused. The other leaves you exhausted before lunch. Have you ever noticed yourself doing this? Smiling a little too long in a meeting, nodding along to seem engaged, while some quiet part of you is just counting down the minutes. That's not disinterest in your job. That's your mind spending energy on something most people never think about. Here's a smaller moment that might feel familiar. You walk into the break room, see a coworker already there, and quietly decide to come back later. Not because you dislike them, just because right now, your mind doesn't have the spare capacity for one more conversation. Multiply that decision by a dozen small moments a day, and you start to see the shape of something bigger. Here's what's actually happening. Every environment you're in asks something of you. Not just your attention, your regulation. Your brain is constantly filtering sound, monitoring faces, tracking who's nearby, adjusting your posture, managing your tone of voice. Psychologists sometimes call this self-monitoring, the effort it takes to manage how you appear to others in real time. For some people, this costs almost nothing. It happens automatically, in the background, like breathing. But for others, self-monitoring pulls from the same limited pool of mental energy they need for actual thinking, actual work, actual creativity. So by the time they sit down to do the task they were hired for, a large percentage of their daily energy is already gone, spent not on the work, but on simply existing around other people. That's only part of the story, because it's not just about people, it's about control. Think about how often your attention gets pulled in an office without your permission. A door opens, someone laughs across the room, a notification lights up a screen that isn't yours. None of it is meant for you, but your brain checks anyway. It has to. That's what attention does. It scans for anything that might matter. Researchers who study focus have a name for this kind of environment. They call it directed attention fatigue, the exhaustion that builds when your mind has to keep pulling itself back on task, over and over, all day long. It isn't dramatic in the moment, but it adds up. By the afternoon, some people aren't tired from working. They're tired from resisting distraction for 8 straight hours. Think about the small rituals people build into their day without even noticing. Some people can't fall asleep unless the room is a certain temperature. Some can't concentrate unless their desk is arranged a specific way. Some feel unsettled by a surprise visitor, even a welcome one, because it disrupts something they didn't know they were relying on. This isn't pickiness, it's regulation. Your environment isn't just a backdrop to your life. For some nervous systems, it's part of how they stay calm enough to function at all. Does someone in your life come to mind? Someone who seems almost like a different person at home than they do in public. More relaxed, more themselves, less careful. That difference isn't a performance. It's often the absence of a cost most people never notice they're paying. There's another reason this matters more than it seems. For some people, walking into an unpredictable environment, even a friendly one, triggers a small, automatic bracing response. Not fear exactly, more like readiness. A low-level, what's about to happen here that never fully switches off. At home, that question already has an answer. Nothing is about to happen. The room is exactly as it was left. And this is where remote work starts to make a lot more sense. It isn't what most people expect. The common assumption is that people who prefer remote work are simply introverted, or antisocial, or don't like their coworkers. Sometimes that's true, but often it has almost nothing to do with people at all, and everything to do with autonomy. Psychologists studying motivation have long pointed to three basic psychological needs that keep a person feeling stable and engaged: competence, connection, and autonomy. The sense that you have some real control over your own circumstances. Of the three, autonomy is often the one modern offices quietly strip away. You don't choose the lighting, you don't choose the temperature, you don't choose when a meeting interrupts your focus, you don't choose who overhears your conversations. None of these things are dramatic on their own, but stacked together, hour after hour, they create a low, constant hum of, "I am not in control of this environment." And a nervous system that doesn't feel in control doesn't fully relax, even if nothing is technically wrong. This is where psychologists became interested in something called environmental sensitivity. The idea that some people process sensory and social information more deeply than others. Sound feels louder, light feels brighter. Emotional undercurrents in a room feel more obvious. It isn't a flaw in processing, it's a different depth of processing. And for these individuals, an office isn't just a place to work, it's a place that never stops asking something of them. There's a second layer to this that most people never connect to their workday. Researchers studying attention have long noted that certain environments actually restore mental energy, while others quietly consume it. Natural light, quiet, and predictability tend to replenish focus. Noise, unpredictability, and constant social demand tend to deplete it. An office, by design, is often the second kind of environment, not because anyone intended it that way, but because open layouts were built for collaboration, not recovery. At home, that demand disappears, not because the person becomes lazier, but because the tax they were unconsciously paying all day simply isn't there anymore. Suddenly, the same brain that felt foggy and depleted by 3 p.m. in the office can focus clearly until evening. Think about the last time you finally sat down in total quiet after a long, noisy day. That feeling of your shoulders dropping, almost against your will, that's not relaxation, that's relief. Your body had been holding something the entire time, and it only just realized it was allowed to let go. Here's where everything changes. The common story we tell about people who prefer remote work is that they're avoiding effort, that they want less accountability, less structure, less discipline. But for many people, the opposite is true. They aren't avoiding effort, they're redirecting it. Instead of spending their energy managing an environment, they're spending it on the actual task in front of them. For many people, remote work isn't an escape from responsibility. It's the first time their full capacity is actually available for the responsibility itself. And there's something even less obvious happening underneath this. For some people, particularly those who grew up needing to stay alert to shifting moods in a household, or who spent years in environments where being noticed felt risky, a busy office isn't just distracting. It can quietly activate old patterns of hypervigilance, watching faces, reading tones, bracing without knowing why. This isn't true for everyone who prefers remote work. Human behavior is complex, and this pattern won't apply to every case. But for those it does apply to, working from a controlled, private space isn't a preference. It's the first environment in years that has let their body fully stand down. That's not weakness. That's a nervous system finally getting what it's been asking for. The strange part is, most people never connect their exhaustion to any of this. They just assume they're bad at focusing, or bad at office culture, or somehow less resilient than everyone around them. But needing a controlled environment isn't a character flaw, it's information about the kind of conditions your particular mind needs in order to actually work well. So maybe the person who dreads the office isn't lazy, antisocial, or difficult. Maybe they've simply spent years functioning at a quiet deficit, paying an invisible cost every single day just to exist in spaces that were never built with their nervous system in mind. Understanding that doesn't mean every job can accommodate it. It doesn't mean offices are wrong or that remote work is right for everyone. Some people genuinely thrive on the energy of a shared space. Both are real. Both are valid. But if you've ever felt strangely exhausted by a day where nothing bad happened, if you've ever come home and felt like you could finally breathe, that isn't in your head. You weren't struggling to work. You were struggling to work in a place that was quietly asking more of you than anyone realized, including you. And once you understand that, you stop asking what's wrong with you. You start asking what you actually need to think clearly, feel steady, and do your best work. And for a growing number of people, the answer has been sitting at home the entire time. If this helped you understand yourself a little better, consider subscribing to Mind Lies Explained. Every week, we explore the hidden psychology behind the thoughts, emotions, and behaviors that shape our lives.